Jess, it's great to see you. Thank you so much for joining me.
Nice to see you too.
Huge congratulations on the historic win at the Euros. How are you feeling, especially now you've had a little bit of time to process it?
Thank you very much, firstly. And to be honest, I think I got asked this question yesterday, and I feel like I still haven't processed it. I don't know if I'll ever be able to. It was so quick for me coming back to Gotham and getting ready again and playing again. I don't really think that I've had time to sit and really think about what happened over this past summer.
Well, I mean, extra time and then penalties. For those of us watching, I mean, it was just so stressful. What about for you playing?
To be fair, it was really tough this time. This tournament just seemed to be a bit more stressful. It was definitely harder than the other tournaments, both on the pitch and off the pitch. And it was a really, I think it started off very tense, but I think together with the girls, everyone just got together and we managed to, I guess, just shut out all the outside noise and focus on how we can best help each other.
How do you actually deal with the pressure of winning ahead of a match?
I think, to be honest, I'd always say that before that was something that I never really felt. I didn't really feel the pressure of a football game. It was just turn up and in what will be, or try our best, and either we'll win or we won't. I think this is the first tournament where I'd felt a bit more pressure going into it and a bit more stress. But I think that was mainly probably just put on my own self from my own expectations rather than from other people. We just tried to, like I said kind of before, stick together and deliver the best game plan that we can.
What do you think in general are the qualities that differentiate winners from the rest, do you think, Jess?
I think it's mentality. I think that talent. There are a lot of teams in that tournament that were super talented, and ones that had performed and played probably a lot better than what we had throughout the tournament. I think that for us and teams that I've played for where we've won things before, I think it's just mentality in terms of finding a way to win and getting over that line. And when the going gets tough, it's can you keep going and keep going? And I think that's what maybe helped us this tournament.
And how do you power through the matches? How do you overcome fear?
I think it's partly because you have to. It's our job. It's what we're there to do is get through all those tough moments. But it helps being in a team sport where I look to the person next to me who's got my back and who is probably struggling as well in that moment. But you wouldn't know because they're just giving it their absolute all. So I think that helps. And the fans, the crowds were amazing. So having them cheer you on, seeing our family in the stands, I think it's a lot of external things that actually help get you through rather than just yourself.
You were talking about it being tough off the pitch, and of course, you chose to take a step back on social media after being a target of online racial abuse. How did you get through that?
I just the people around me, my family were incredible. They came out throughout the tournament and were speaking with me constantly, and they were great. But then my teammates as well, my teammates of players and staff, they were all so supportive, and just wanted to do whatever they could to support me and to be there. And I think that after part of me wishes I spoke up about it earlier. It started right from the beginning of the France game, because after I'd spoken up about it, I maybe didn't realize that I did need the support. I thought, oh, I'll just handle this by myself, it'll be fine. But then actually after speaking up about it and having the support from my team and my family and friends really helped get me through. And then after speaking up about it, obviously then the fans were incredible. There was so much support and so much positivity out there that it was really nice to see and really helped get me through the rest of the tournament.
How do you and how did you block out the noise online?
I think that, to be honest, I just took myself off it. I'm not someone who normally takes myself off social media because I'm used to kind of the critics and used to getting some of the abuse that we get as athletes and people in the public eye is it happens a lot. It's not okay, but it happens, and everyone's entitled to their opinion. And it's something that I've been used to ever since I first ever started playing. So I've never really struggled with that. But then so this time around, I think the way that I dealt with it was just to completely take myself off social media so that I wasn't able to see anything that was said and I could just focus on what was being said within my camp, and the positivity and the just focus on the football, really, which is what we spoke about internally.
What more, Jess, though, would you like the FA social media platforms to do to tackle racism?
I'm not really sure there's much that the FA can do. I think they show support every single time. They're incredible. Their response to me speaking out was excellent. So I'm super grateful for their support. I think that for me, for what it's something that I'm going to continue to think about and try to work on. And I know my sister's been helping on my behalf at the moment and doing a lot of work with social media platforms to identify those who are making these racial comments and to address it with them and to just kind of make people aware that it's not okay. And I think that actually the social media platforms can do better to recognize those people that are sharing the abuse and prosecute them the way that they should be. If this was in the street, it's a hate crime, and those things aren't allowed and it's not okay. So obviously doing what we can, and the police have managed to identify a handful of people already, which has been excellent. So I think that those things should be put in place, and I'm not really sure exactly how it would work, but I think social media companies need to do better at protecting people in the public eye. I think that the amount of abuse that we get, not even just myself, but that everyone in the public eye gets, is extraordinary, and it's not okay. And those people wouldn't come up to you in the street and say it. So I think that trying to find a way to support people and block out abuse online is something that social media companies need to do better at doing.
Do you feel they really have that responsibility and that they're not doing enough yet?
Yeah, I think so. I think they do have the responsibilities because it's on their platforms and it's something that's being allowed on their platforms. And so far, Meta have been great. They've been working really well with my sister in order to. They've been monitoring my social media, helping to block out some of the messages or report them, and the people that my sister worked with at Meta have been excellent. But a lot needs to be done. It's not just about dealing with it afterwards. It's stopping it in the first place. I think no player or person should have to go onto their social media page, which is a place for everybody, and be subject to such vile abuse. And I think that more needs to be done in the beginning to prevent that from happening.
Do you have advice, Jess, to those who are suffering from it and get affected by it from what you've gone through? Can you offer them some advice on how to handle it?
I just think always to speak out. I wasn't going to because I thought I'd deal with it by myself. But actually, the moment I spoke up about it, I felt so much better, and the support that I got was incredible. Like I said, I didn't realize I needed support at the time. And speaking up about it really helped kind of get me through and not make me feel so isolated. And again, like, you're not on your own. It's not weak to speak up. It's not attention seeking to speak up. It's something that nobody should be subject to. And like I said, no, you're not by yourself. The amount of support I had after that from people I didn't know, from fans, was incredible. And it goes such a long way. And I think it just helps you it reminds you that you're perfect the way that you are. It doesn't matter your skin tone, where you're from. Everybody is valuable.
Well, before the semi-final against Italy, England made the decision not to take the knee before the match. What do you think of that decision? And in general, do you think it's effective, that gesture?
I don't. If I'm being honest, I don't really know how effective it is because we've been taking the knee for such a long time, and I'm a prime example that racial abuse still happens. So I think that we decided to not take the knee because some of us felt that taking the knee had just stopped becoming meaningful, and I felt like people that didn't know why we were doing it anymore. So the idea of just taking a stand was to make just people go, oh, why are they standing and not taking the knee? Or it's to stand against racist abuse. And it was just to kind of put it on another spin on his head a little bit, and just to make everyone aware again that racial abuse still happens, and standing up isn't going to do much about it, but it's just about bringing awareness back to people's minds that these things are happening, and to try and prevent some people from doing it just by making them aware again. I think was kind of the main message for us.
There has been criticism about the lack of diversity in the Women's Super League and within the England team itself. What can be done to make it more inclusive, do you think?
I think it's about accessibility in the sport. I think allowing everybody to have equal opportunities is the biggest one for me. Growing up, I didn't really know much about women's football. In fact, I didn't know anything about women's football. I didn't know I could be a professional footballer until I was joined for Birmingham at 16. So I think about making it more accessible for everybody, regardless of where you're from. And I think that's the first step, because without that, you're not going to get inclusivity from all backgrounds. And so it's about starting right from the beginning and trying to find a way to make sport accessible to every single person.
Can I ask you about a little bit about your upbringing, Jess? Where did the spark and passion come from, do you think, to go into football? I know you were loving rugby and playing that.
I have some older brothers, and they used to take me to the park, and I had no choice but to be in goal whilst they kicked the ball at me, really. And I got dragged to their games every Sunday, I think it was. So from there, I just started either playing with them or playing with the other little brothers and sisters whilst we watched. And I think just from then on, I kind of participated in every single sport that I could play in. I think my brothers probably gave me no choice but to play football, and so I guess I'm thankful to them for that.
You grew up in Warwick. What kind of values did your family and parents instill in you from an early age that you think has helped you now as a player?
I think they've just always encouraged me to be myself, be the most authentic version of myself that I can be, being honest, and yeah, just being really honest and kind. And I think that yeah, my family were all super strong people, and trying to just stick together. I think that they're some of the core values of my family, and luckily, I think I've been able to kind of continue those throughout my life.
Well, there's reportedly a sports scholarship being created in your honour at one of your old schools, Aylesford. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, it's incredible. I'm currently in conversation with them about it at the moment, so hopefully there's more to say on that soon. But I think it's an incredible idea from the school. Going back to what I said, accessibility is the biggest thing for everybody. If you don't have access to equipment, to a field or anything like that, you can't achieve what your dreams are. So being able to be part of something at Elsford where they're creating scholarships to give young children, young girls, boys, anybody, the opportunity to chase their dream, I think is something incredible. Without the support I had from people around me, I wouldn't have made it to where I am today. So it's something I'm looking forward to learning more about and hopefully being a big part of.
Do you feel a responsibility now that you're a role model?
I feel like I still don't see myself as a role model. I just see myself as someone who's lucky enough to live out their dream. But I am aware that there are people that look up to me and aspire to do what I do. And I wouldn't say that I'm a role model, but if I can help someone along the way, feel confident enough to go out there and chase their dream, then that is something that I feel very honoured to be able to do.
You're playing for Gotham FC now. What's the experience like in the US for you? How does it differ from playing in England?
Yeah, Gotham's been amazing. I've loved it ever since I've come here. I think the people are amazing. The values of the club are really great, and it is very different to Europe. I think it's a bit fast. It's very fast paced here. It is a bit more direct than the team that I was than WSL. But I think the athleticism here in the US is incredible. Every player is super fast and super strong, and I'm having to learn a lot of new things in order to be able to keep up with the game here, which has been exciting for me. I can't get complacent at all because the level is still really high. It is different, and I think that the amount of European players that are now here, I think it is starting to make the league be a bit more technical, and there's a lot of teams that play some really nice football, so it does differ in ways, but I also think there are a lot of similarities, and when I joined Gotham I was pleasantly surprised at how good the league was, because I hadn't watched much before with the time zones in the UK. It's not as easy to watch, so when I got here and saw actually the standard was really high, I was really happy about that.
Is the popularity of the sport in general there in the US growing, women's football?
Yeah, I think women's football's always been huge here. I just think that they've got so many other sports to compete with. Even just where I am now, there's two baseball teams, two basketball teams, two NFL teams. ice hockey's become a huge thing. So there is just so many of the sports in the US that women's soccer is having to compete with, that it makes it. I think it just makes it hard sometimes to get the fans in as much. But women's football is huge here, and I think it is just rapidly growing. It's going to get even bigger.
Well, of course, going back to the Lionesses, historic achievements so far, Jess. World Cup coming in 2027. Are you aiming for that? Do you want to be part of that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, right now, to be honest, I've not thought about my next England thing at all. Just trying to focus on getting everything right for Gotham. But of course, I want to be part of every single game for England and competition. So yeah, I've got another couple of years to get ready for that, and hopefully I can just continue my journey with England and make that World Cup.
Any thoughts about what you would do off the pitch afterwards, maybe coaching?
I have no idea. It's the question I probably should start asking myself at 27, to be honest. I'd say I don't really love coaching. I am doing my coaching badges, but I wouldn't say I love it. But I'm not too sure yet. I'm still in the process of trying to figure that out. So if anyone out there's got any suggestions, I'm more than welcome to listen.